Alright, welcome to Big Brother 9. I know I'm gonna win it this year.
So Big Brother 9. Last year, came in second, very close. This year, I'm definitely going to be more active in the challenges, and I know strategies more, so I'm ready to kick ass. I'm ready to ride anyone's coattails, backstab people, so I'd watch out for me this year. I may look nice, but I'll be ready to win. Coming for all you fuckers.
Big Brother 9. It's never going to happen. I will say that Nikki and his cronies will get me out by week 4. They'll use me for the first couple weeks and then that'll be it. Oh well.
So this is my second time playing Big Brother. The first time I didn't do very well. I think I got out in the first round. This year, I think I'm just gonna go in with no expectations. Try really hard, but not too hard, if you know what I mean. I haven't really thought of like alliances yet, because I guess that's not really the way I play, but we'll see. Maybe that's the way to go. It's, you know, kind of late and a bunch of people aren't here yet, so, I mean, I was here on time. So I guess maybe that'll set the tone for who's going to take the game seriously.
In order to win, or need to do anything it takes to make it to the end of the game and earn the jury's votes. The game's a marathon, but every move counts, and surviving each week depends on us. We'll have to escape eviction, outmaneuver opponents, and make big moves if we want to have a shot at the crown.
And then where's the other small train?
Why would you let go?
This is supposed to be the easy one.
What are the rules there?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know, but I was scared.
Yeah, I was scared.
3 to 2.
Yes!
It's down to me, Nikki, Andrew, and Tayshin. I'd really hate to get voted off right now because I feel like I haven't really gotten like my full potential. I know I didn't perform well in the games, but kind of feel like I was maybe hindered a little bit by my partner. I'm trying to get people to vote for me because Andrew can be pretty... You know, he really knows this game, so this will probably be the last time he's on the chopping block. So I'm trying to convince everybody that you better nip it in the bud now, because if you're against Andrew at the end, you'll probably regret it. But meanwhile, me, I think that I haven't really gotten any enemies now. Yeah, I just really don't want to go home. Maybe, yeah.
Well, I got voted out first. And it was actually not even a blowaway. It was a tie between me and Tayshin versus Nikki and Deanna. So 4 people voted to keep me, 4 people voted to evict me. And then Tayshin and I lost the puzzle building competition to Deanna and Nikki, so they were safe. And then it became down between me and Tayshin. And it was 9-1. They all voted me out. I was so close to getting Nikki out. I have no clue who my 4 were. I think it was Mel, Patrick, maybe... Oh, definitely Miles, and maybe Giuseppe or John, one of them. I have no clue, but either way, I couldn't get Jamie's vote because I think she kept D. I think. I know Steven and Brian voted me out. And... I just couldn't get that one more vote. And then when we went to the tiebreaker, it was terrible. We lost so bad. Fuck.
At the end of the day, it was the Andrew camp versus the boys camp.
Yeah, I know.
And John and Giuseppe came outside and were freaking out. They're like, we have to get rid of Nikki. We have to get rid of Nikki. So when I went back inside, another player and myself had a conversation. And we're like, John is a liar. Because Giuseppe wouldn't talk to anybody but like Melanie, Tayshin, Miles. Melanie, Tajan, Miles. So because he didn't approach me, I was like, Giuseppe's lying. John's lying. They're not going to flip. This is going to be a split vote. We can't have it be a split vote, so I'm going to vote Andrew out. It was 4-4.
Why didn't you just vote out
Giuseppe and John. Because I didn't want, I was like, it's going to be a tie vote. I'm literally playing the worst game right now, / the best game. Nobody's going to see it coming.
Okay, so it's Big Brother 9. And first we did pairs this morning, which I was with Miles, which like didn't really matter. And then we did Survivor, and I was on the red team, and we did really well, and the blue team was so divided, and it was so funny because we were just going with it. I was selected MVP for one, which let me pick the pairs, which I think I was a little manipulated by both Steven and Tajan for the pairs, because why did I put Nikki and Deanna together if I didn't want to have to vote out Deanna? Because she's my ally? That was so dumb, but... Anyway, me and John crushed it, and we came out on top with 23 points, which then led us to a clue that brought us to the basement, which we had 3 minutes to look for a hidden immunity. I have it right here in my bra, and I'm hiding it from everyone because me and John both agreed that we were going to come up and lie and say we didn't find anything. Hopefully John doesn't turn on me and tell people I have it or wants to put me up to get rid of it, but as of right now, me and him are kind of playing together but apart. Like, he's with the boys and I'm kind of working with Deanna and Patrick, but supposedly everyone's lying, so it's all crazy. Andrew went home. I didn't want him to go home, but I had to vote with the majority, which sucks. Not that I'm against them, but we can have Nikki, Brian, and Steven all together, plus John, plus Giuseppe, all like making it throughout the game. And you know, I was talking to John and we were saying we need to make a move against them, but he's too nervous. And I'm like, we can't be nervous because he's like, one of them comes back in the game. I go, yeah, well, if we get all 3 out, only one is allowed back after endurance. And they would have to go at it with each other all night, which I'm perfectly fine with. So I have the hidden immunity idol, so I feel pretty safe as long as I can keep convincing people to not put me out so I don't have to use it, so I can just keep it hidden until I absolutely need to. Then I think me and Patrick are the next targets, but I also think Patrick is lying, and I have no idea what John's going to do this week, but we will see. I'm safe, so talk to you later.
Alright, now that Andrew's jotted away, I'm gonna vote to evict Patrick because he's been playing with fire, you know. Just as simple as that.
I don't know if this lighting is good this time, but I'm gonna vote for. I don't know. Once I get up there, hopefully my decision will be made. I don't know what's going on. Home dogs. I don't really know. I'm gonna say like 85% is probably Jamie, but yeah, Jamie. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna have to vote to evict Jamie. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to keep my alliance with Patrick.
I haven't really thought about this. I'm voting to... It's so hard. I'm gonna vote to evict Jamie.
Well, Mel wants me on her side, but Steven wants me on their side. But I'm leaning more towards Steven's side, but the vote might be equal, so they won't know who I voted for. So I might still vote on Steven's side, on our side, but tell Mel I voted for her side, so I have an in on the other side, but I'm still with Steven. So technically I'll know both teams.
Yeah, so basically what I'm gonna do is just ride this out as long as I can. I'm right now I'm in no danger at all. I don't feel any pressure. I don't think I'm gonna get back door. Next round I think is imperative that me or Moran win it. I think Moran is the one person that has my back. He might be fucking me over in the ass, but we'll see what happens. Definitely. Not even gonna tell you.
I was a little torn, but then I really see a benefit to keeping Patrick because he now despises Steven, Brian, Nikki, John, Giuseppe type alliance thing. And I need someone who's going to actually have some gut to take out the big threats because I don't think anyone really wants to because for some reason everyone's so afraid of them. So I'm going to vote to evict Jamie. So something pretty crazy just happened. Miles and Jamie on the block. Veto. Steven gets it, uses it on Miles, takes Miles down, and John picks up Patrick, blown away. I had no idea any of this would happen. And then I'm getting Deanna. I was like, we can't do that. We have to keep Patrick. Because he is not gonna want Brian or Steven to be, or Nikki. And I'm like trying to get Miles and Tajan. And I really think I'm gonna get Giuseppe, but I don't get Giuseppe. Even though I think it might have been Miles, I'm not sure because he's being really sketchy to me. I'm asking him questions and he just doesn't answer. And it's a tie. It's 4-4, and John breaks the tie. And I'm looking at John across the table, and I'm hoping he like feels my energy, being like, we need to keep Patrick. Like he could be like a great barrier for us because they're gonna want him, and he's gonna want to go after them. So John votes out Jamie, and I'm just, what? And so we go to HOH. I'm like, I need to fold until Brian, Steven, and Nikki are out, which I did. And then I threw it so Patrick, Tajan, or Giuseppe can win. And I don't know. Now I'm nervous about Giuseppe because I don't know how much I can trust him. Why does he want to talk to Steven last? Because Steven's just going to talk his ear off and convince him to do whatever Steven wants him to do. So I have to go in there and tell him that that's exactly what's going to happen. And we need to stay focused and get them out.
I was evicted week 2 by a bold move from John's year-old. He really changed things this game. Things were going one way, and he just threw a curveball. I think it was a mistake taking Miles off the block and not just making that a tie, and then everyone would vote Miles out. John would break the tie. That, I guess, was too easy, and John wanted to make things interesting, so I don't know. I told him to be careful because I'm ready to come back in the endurance challenge. Like, you have not seen the last of me this year, okay?
I just put Nick on the block. I think everyone's going to vote him off. Peace, Nick.
I vote to evict Nikki. You got it. You had it coming.
Yeah, I'm voting out Nick. Fuck you, Nick. Bitch. So I've been flying kind of under the radar, I feel like. Kind of just like, I got alliance with everybody. Everybody love me. I'm gonna vote to keep Nikki. I just think he's shit out of luck. I think everybody's just, they're turning on him big time.
Alright, sorry, Nikki. I'm gonna have to evict you. Miles is my boy.
I'm voting Nikki.
I trust Miles more than I trust Nikki. That's basically why I'm voting Nikki out.
Nick, I love you. Chill town for life. I can't have these people turning on me. I can't turn on these people, though. It's going to be unanimous against you. Sorry, bro.
So we're the only showmans in the house, and honestly, I think we've been doing a pretty good job not letting people know at all. And you would think our amazing matching shirts would set people off, but they have no clue. Just goes to show.
A lot of compliments
people
about
in the
them,
house.
though.
Yeah.
A lot of compliments.
People do like them.
Yes.
But bad news. He's on the block this week, and
I may have to leave my baby.
don't know what to do. After 10 hours of knowing him, I feel like my heart will be taken away. Half of it will be gone after he goes. Because the house is
I don't even want to think about it.
And he did have this awful, awful outburst. And at first I thought, do you think he'll be like this outside of the house? Then I asked him, and what did you say?
Never. I never lose my temper outside of this game.
And he says it with a straight face. He does. And,
very cool, calm, collected
yeah.
guy.
So then all those worries just went out the window, and now I'm just trying my best to keep him around because, like, I know our love can blossom in here, and it's such a great environment for a relationship to be in.
Be in this house, stuck with people, great
And,
relationship.
10 hours is a lot to get to know someone. So
I feel like she knows me the best out of anyone I
I feel
know.
like we can definitely get him out of here. And, you know,
We will
prove that
endure.
showmances are the best in
Yeah.
Big Brother, honestly.
Yep.
And
Oh.
I think I'm going to say it. I think I'm ready to say it.
Are you?
Yeah.
After 10 hours?
Yeah. I feel like you just know me to my core.
I agree.
Before you go, will you be my boyfriend?
Yes.
I just want to say what's up to all my fans out there. Mom, I love you. And Steven, I'm sorry, it's time for you to get evicted. No hard feelings. You know, it's just Tajan's my boy.
Yeah, looks like Steven's gonna have to go home. It is what it is.
Okay, so, you know, our showmance didn't really make it far, and I really have no other choice but to send you home, Steven. You had that tantrum, and I just don't know if I could deal with that outside of this house. I don't know. So, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm voting out Steven.
I gotta talk to camera, right? Yeah. Yo, what's up, Tasia? Tasia's my boy.
I'm the little finger of this game. I'm laying back, I'm playing it cool, and I'm an assassin. I'm deadly when it counts. That's what it is. That's all it comes down to. I just clean sweep on the gates. I think my biggest ally in this game is gone. So that sucks, but we're gonna flip it around on him. I'm gonna get HOH, and I think Patrick's gonna be gone. Yeah. So I thought it would be funny to clean sweep him with my eviction block. But I can't do it.
I'm so shocked and proud of Patrick for making a big move. Alright, I told them not to volunteer to be pawns, but now they're both on the block. Miles versus Tasia, and someone from Midland Park is going home.
I wish we were able to maybe work together a little more, but it was hard to gain some trust with you, so I'm sorry, Miles, but I'm gonna have to send you home.
I'm gonna vote to keep Tajan.
Dude, I can't lose right now. I think I just jinxed myself and knocked off some wood there, but 2 seconds left. Came in clutch, hit and fucking nailed it. I'm all alone. I got no help. It's an uphill battle from now. I gotta start lying and scheming or something, because I gotta make something happen here.
Well, Brian is a terrible person.
I'm voting to get rid of Brian because the boys just need to go.
Sorry, Brian. Just makes the most sense. I gotta evict you.
Sorry, Brian, but it's time for you to go, man. Sorry things had to be this way. You know, it's just the way Big Brother works out, and hopefully you endure tonight.
I vote to evict you, Brian. And the third has fallen.
Giuseppe, my man, I'm sorry. We had a good run, but it's time for you to go. I have faith in you in the Durance round. Should be a good competition. I think you have the competitive edge. You know. Mom, shout out Dad, love you guys. Giuseppe, be good, my man.
Giuseppe, I'm so sad to see you go. I know we had like a secret alliance going on, and I really wish it wasn't you. I wish it was someone else, but sorry, Giuseppe.
I vote to evict Giuseppe. That's it.
So, it is now Sunday, day 2 of Big Brother. I was out week 2 thanks to good old John Zierald. But through some balance, strength, and pure endurance, I survived the endurance challenge, and now I'm back HOH. Fuck you, John. Fuck you. He really fucked me over, and I was prepared to come back in this game. My original intentions were final 3, Mel, Deanna, me. Girl power. But I got some interesting points thrown at me left and right. And it's definitely a bold move, but I'm taking a risk saving John this week because at 2 a.m. last night, I was hell-bent on John being sent home and was definitely on the chopping block, going home without a doubt. I was ready to fucking kill him, get revenge. But he's a good player. He'd be an interesting ally. And eye for an eye, he owes me if I take him off the block this week. He'd make a point, there are some other threats in the house. He's not wrong. But it's just a matter of playing the cards right, who wins the veto, who gets HOH. So it is a big game of chance, but I'm willing to take a risk and save John this week. And I'm willing to battle out the final 3 and slowly wean Patrick, Taejin, and then I'll see what happens like final 4, but I think John would be a great competitor against the final 4. Plus, if him and I make it to final 2, hypothetically, I know I've got the votes anyway, because all the guys in the house fucking hate him. So, making a bold move this week, coming back endurance, HOH now, and we'll see what happens.
I vote to evict Taejin. I'm so sorry.
Taejin, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to vote you out, and I hope you're not mad when you're in jury about it, because I've had an alliance with Deanna since, week 1, and I feel like you're one of Patrick's little pawns, so I think you need to go, and I'm sorry. But at least you didn't get out first this time.
Alright, sorry Taejin, but, in a dog-eat-dog world, sometimes you gotta get eaten. Happens. Best of luck to you in the future. Mom, love you. Shout out Dad. Shout out to Rock. Shout out Money Team.
Patrick, you're so close. No, I mean like too close.
Okay, so I just won HOH, and I kind of didn't want to win because, I have my fingers kind of in my whispers in every. Get out of here!
What?
Get out of here! That was Steven. And if John won, I knew he'd go after Patrick. I know if Patrick won, he would have went after John. If Jamie won, she would have went after Patrick. If Deanna won, she would have went after Patrick and John. And that really would have benefited me because at this point, John needs to John is so competitive, but so is Patrick. So anyways, I'm really torn. But I'm putting up Jamie and Patrick because we need Patrick to go. But I'm honestly fine with anyone going. And I just need to hope that whoever wins HOH next week isn't going to jeopardize my game. And I fucking did the puzzle so quickly, and I'm so pissed because any other person other than me would have put up anyone I wanted. And I'm just, I should have thrown it, but I don't know why I didn't.
I'm voting to evict.
I vote to evict John. So it's the final 4. I just won the final 4 HOH, which means I'm guaranteed in the top 3. I'm gonna put up Jamie and Mel, hoping that Jamie goes home. But I don't care between the 3 of them at this point.
Shit!
Yeah, the drops.
So, down to the final 4. And Patrick fucking wins HOH. Screwed up everything. But we had an all-girl alliance. Hashtag free the nipple. We were trying to go final 3. Mel and I were put up. Mel wins the veto challenge. I don't see why she wouldn't save herself. So me and Dee are going up, and Mel decides who goes home. But if I go home, I played a tough game, but if not, Patrick, I'm fucking gunning for you, man. We'll see. Stay tuned.
So, a quick update. So, my HOH, I ended up winning and put up Patrick and Jamie, and Deanna won veto, and I knew this was my only chance to get out John, so I just told her, you know, can you please use the veto on Patrick and we can get John out right now? And then Patrick and Deanna both voted for him, and there was no blood on my hands. I'm going to tell John that it was something I had to do because I don't think he was a sure shot to win if he made it to final 3 or final 2. So sadly, I had to let John go, and it worked out. And then I couldn't compete for HOH, and Patrick won. And I was very nervous about it because I really think that he wanted me out. He put me and Jamie up, and it was the OTEV competition. You had to know the HOH order and dive in the pool. And I hate water, and I hate being in the pool, but I won, took myself off the block. Thank goodness, because honestly, I don't know if Jamie or Patrick won. Maybe he would have put her down and made Jamie pick between me and Deanna. So now it's Jamie and Deanna, and it would have been nice to have a final 3 with the girls, but it didn't work out that way. So now we're gonna have to vote between Deanna and Jamie, and I've had a long, an alliance with Deanna basically this whole game, basically telling her which way to vote, and she's been very loyal, and I think it would be a great idea to bring her to the final 3. So, Deanna and Jamie are up, and I'm sorry, Jamie, but I'm gonna have to send you home.
Thank you both. You were both
Pawn.
really great. Not pawns. It's like you helped me out in your own way when I needed you the most. But there was one person that helped me out more, I think. Whether it was like competing or behind the scenes or just watching out for my back. And we shook on it, and I have to go with my word, which is what I've done most of the game. So, Deanna, I evict you, and you're final 2.
You just picked Mel for final 2?
What an idiot! How are you gonna take the best player on the line? Dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm going AWOL. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna panic. I'm just saying. I'm gonna make it. Wasn't Patrick's time to go when I had the choice?
No, so AKA you're saying you're voting for Patrick.
I don't know.
I might vote for Patrick too.
Why? No, you have to have a good reason to vote for Patrick. Mel played a much better game.
I don't know, bro. Patrick was on the block.
Patrick jumped from side to side and was just hanging out by anyone who would.
This morning when I woke up,
you gotta respect the game.
I want to
But Mel flipped people. She made Giuseppe automatically not be one of us. She made John, who I figured would guarantee be one of us, drop and flip.
No, the thing is, we were all together like we want to do, and then everyone panicked. Well, I don't know why they went after Nikki so hard. Yeah, it was crazy.
Mr. Anderson told us twice.
You can thank Mr. Anderson for that.
Yeah, he told us twice, don't trust
That's not fair.
Nick.
You guys are giving him a preconceived notion then.
Well, I never trust Nikki.
Why we trust Mr. Anderson? It's right there.
No, what? Mr. Anderson in the room.
They Mel Garage.
Oh yeah.
The real Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson's my father. You can call me Andrew. Well, didn't they win? Did Patrick win more HOHs? I do.
I think they both won 2 each.
I don't know.
Oh, but Patrick
But it's
won
just,
the most
John,
recent one.
take it as a compliment. I really did think that you were a better competitor.
Yeah, no, that's why I understood. But I just knew Yeah. I just knew Patrick was telling everyone he was on their side, and I should have told you that. I don't know why I didn't. I just told you that.
Well, I knew that.
I'm being honest. For some
Well,
crazy reason,
I
Patrick
almost came
wins.
back.
I may never play this game again.
The only way Patrick could win in my head is if he convinces.
He should not.
I don't know
Well,
what he
obviously,
did.
he's not convincing me because you guys all know. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's talked to all of you that he said he would bring you to the final two, or like.
Yeah.
I never had something
like,
opportunity. He deserves credit for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the way to play,
My pride
play the game.
cut
But
my head
like,
off in the end. I walked in the stairs, I'm like, Patrick. I was like, I know you're gonna put me in. I walked out. I was like,
And he did.
I offered to. I was like, I'll get rid of Brian. I don't care. I'll do anything.
I know you did because you're a snake, but I mean, maybe I'm the true star. Without flip, I didn't flip on one version. I voted for Nikki.
see, that's the thing. I
I voted for you, even though I knew you guys were condemned.
Well, I mean, you gotta flip on people. You have to flip on the right people.
I feel like
Yeah,
Mel was
do
in
you?
control of almost every eviction now.
Yes,
Like,
I feel so
like,
too.
I feel like
Mel
she, like,
always
figured
pulled
out-
the numbers together on the other side against us. That was all Mel, dude.
And she was
But that's the thing. Like, you guys became such a strong alliance from the get go. It's like, okay, obviously you guys are working together, so
Yeah.
let's just like bring them down. Like, you showed your true colors too early on.
Yeah,
Like, you made
sure.
yourself like a huge or easy target.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
and there was like so obvious that there was like
But at
people
some-
at
but-
the center.
The thing is, I personally thought that we were gonna be strong enough to put we could rally these idiots. To
Yeah, I thought that they were going to join us like they
Yeah,
did
we were
last
just
year.
gonna win.
And then you
They
actually bailed.
become even bigger. You know, it's like then.
Yeah.
Me and John changed
If
it.
you guys literally would have
Honestly,
Yeah,
you
you
two
guys-
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. You
did right.
Single-handedly changed the game.
Yeah.
We,
If we had them two, we could have convinced Miles.
well,
and shit
we
to
could
do it.
systematically take everyone out.
Yeah, just one by one. We would have had the numbers. We would have been the best.
I know, but then at that point,
Obviously
as soon as the
not.
week
I'm
is
not-
started-
Yeah.
That's what I'm literally telling you guys. Like, what you did is like basically what you're talking about was your biggest downfall.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm saying if they were to join us, they cooperated.
They had
Their heads were so far up their asses.
But they had no
But we
incentive
tricked
to
them because we-
cooperate.
Because
I think that's telling them that, oh yeah, we're going
five people that
Yeah,
are
we told them like five on
aligned,
five
not
separate
gonna put
occasions
my-
that were on their team.
Yeah.
That were on the team.
They
And then we
fooled
make
you.
it.
That's what Johnson.
I don't know if he was wrong, but Patrick was literally
We played you guys.
everything he wanted.
As soon as there was two other votes that weren't me and Giuseppe, I knew that me and Giuseppe were going to pretend to be those extra votes.
Yeah,
I knew that.
No,
I
I'm
was
saying
my
it was a
first
good move.
move.
You guys flipped.
I was like, it had to be them. I couldn't.
Well, yeah,
I
obviously I
couldn't
didn't
think
trust
so.
you, Nick, and Brian together.
Why?
I knew I would be the
Oh,
first
no,
one
no.
out.
Yeah, me too. That's how I felt about it. Out of you three.
But then with the people you went with,
We would have taken out
So
the
then me
stronger
and Giuseppe
competitors.
Mel formed a little
Yeah,
power.
I'm much rather see them break up than you guys.
I know. I want to know what they say. I want them to convince me. Yeah, I want them each to convince me. Okay, let's get them down here so we can finish. My question is, I want to hear both of your guys' strategies, like big picture wise. How did you think you were going to get to the end, and did that actually work?
Lie to
Do you want to go?
So that's for both of us?
Yeah, so both.
So the big part of the game. Okay, so my whole thing was I wanted to target the physical boys first and kind of get everyone to rally on that. Like get Steven, Nikki, Brian out, their big physical threats, and basically make them the targets before me. I also hooked up with John and kind of had an agreement there. And then I pulled Giuseppe in through like the computer, being like, okay, let's work together, let's keep it secret, and let's just be us three. I also knew that me and John can get each other pretty far. We knew about something that, we kept to ourselves, and I don't know. So basically, it was keep other targets off of me because I knew that I was going to be a target. So I wanted to get all the bigger targets out, and I kind of wanted to have my hand kind of with John and Giuseppe. I also wanted to have like the girls to be together, and me and Patrick also were talking a lot, trying to figure out how the votes could work for my benefit. So basically it was, put the target on other people's backs and keep it off of mine, and further me throughout the game and not have me put on the block. And I only was put on the block once, so I think my strategy should work to, influence a lot of my allies and relationships I have.
to benefit me.
At the start, we had the whole, I guess, fake pretense of, oh, blue team, it's going to be the 6 blue team members. And then as soon as we got into the house, we were all like, no, that's not going to work at all. So when we got paired up, Jamie and I were paired together, and we thought we worked really well together. We were just going to kind of look out for each other. And I kind of followed her lead, and I decided to jump ship on everybody and vote Andrew out instead of voting Nikki. So I decided to keep Nikki, hoping that would benefit my game, because I didn't think John and Giuseppe would actually go through with that. That backfired. Andrew got out, and then everything kind of it changed from week to week based on who was talking, who was in power, who said what. So I tried my hardest to work with Steven, Nikki, and Brian, and even though I kept telling them the truth, they just wouldn't believe it. So then I had to go into overdrive of, oh crap, how am I going to get myself out of this? John saved me. Jamie had to go home because of that, so I was left with pretty much no one. I slowly kept starting to talk to Tay and Miles, just about constantly seeing what they're doing. And that's when I started to talk to John and Melmo. I told John that I owed him for keeping me. So I started to work with John, Giuseppe, and Mel, while also working with Tay and Miles. And slowly we started to realize that Giuseppe was pretty much expendable in the sense that we each had a second person. At the end of the day, I had Tay. I knew Tay and I were extremely close. John and Giuseppe were very close, Mel and Deanna. So my strategy from there was to try to isolate Tay from getting voted out while picking off their 2 side pieces, I guess. Towards the end, when it came down to voting somebody out, well, clearly not. Tejan was voted out. The first pair voted out. He was out, and no, Giuseppe was voted out. So then I just had to worry about Deanna and Tay, but I started to get a little bit in Deanna's ear, and Melanie really did a great job with me with that, where she would go to Deanna for me and like use the veto, use the veto, use the veto, use the veto, and she did it. Listened to Melanie, which totally saved me, which is why I'm here with Mel. Sorry, Deanna. But when it came down to it, the 3 of us being final 3, John, Melanie, and myself, I knew Deanna was going to vote out John. And if I would have thrown a vote to Jamie, it would have been a tiebreaker. And I really believe that Melanie would have sent John home. So instead of letting her do that, I decided, let me just make it 2-0, send John home, and call it a day. So it was like constantly skating. And like people, I'm telling the truth to people, and then everybody's making up crap behind my back. So then I have to do damage control to reinforce the truth while everybody's saying stupid crap. And constantly being on everybody's radar while remaining off of everyone's radar at the same time. It was a very tricky game.
Yeah, any other questions?
Wait, so we had to ask
No, we had to ask a question. Patrick.
How do you look at yourself?
Happily.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that basically in your last speech, you just said that you would not be in this game if it wasn't for Deanna. You're sitting next to me in 3rd place. So my question is, why didn't you take? I'm seeing a constant pattern in your game in which you tarnish the people that save you in this game, and that's not.
That's why you're out first. That's
not something that I do usually, but it is an interesting game that you played. What was my question? Are you joking? Why did you take Deanna?
Yeah, why did you take
Why did I take Deanna? Because like everybody clearly knows that I try to be as truthful as possible to the people that are good to me. I saved Nikki.
How was I not good to you?
I saved Nikki.
used on you.
Listen. I saved Nikki in round 1. Nobody believed me. They put a huge target on my back because of that, and I survived.
You voted her,
unfortunately,
why'd she do
you
it?
saved me. Melanie got in your ear for that. Melanie and I had a long-standing final 2. So I had to go with her because I'm not going to send her out the door and have her not vote for me. I know you're not going to vote for me, and she's not going to vote for me.
I have a question for Mel. Who would you have taken if you had won?
I told Patrick I would take him, but I was going to take Deanna. Because me and Deanna had been completely together since the beginning. And I also think
How do you
that
feel
I
sitting
could
next to someone
beat
who would just
Deanna.
throw you to one side? How's it feel?
Feel pretty crappy.
None of your alliances were genuine.
None.
Okay, well,
You will burn.
Okay, other question?
I've been, for both of them, what's your biggest strategic move that you had during the game?
I would say the rapid fire 360 with John. Like, John and I were together, and then John put me up, and then John saved me, and then after that, like I kind of watched out for him until I voted him out. But up until that point, I had his back.
Yeah.
Up until the point where I had to vote him out because he's a big threat.
I think your bells, and then I'll do a follow up on.
Okay.
No, wait.
One of my biggest strategic moves was, I told Deanna to use the veto on Patrick because I knew that if me and you were here, I wouldn't win, and I knew that I really didn't want you to go. But well, no, I didn't want you to go, but for the best of my game, and I feel like we would kind of know that eventually one of us was going to have to go because we wouldn't have been able to make it to the final two. And I didn't want to have to vote you out, and I didn't want to do that to you because we were such a good alliance the whole game. So when this opportunity happened, I kind of was like, this is my one chance really to get you out. But he said, yeah. So I just knew that if it was like me, you, and Jamie, or me, you, and Deanna in final 3, and me and you went to final 2, I wouldn't win. And
I would disagree with that.
Yeah, no, because I'd lie to everyone in the house.
I don't think they like us to.
well, I just thought that you would beat me in the physical competition. And like I said, I was like, we were such a good alliance, and I didn't want to do that. But I was like, at one point, one of us has to go, and I feel like this is the only time because I wouldn't want to have to like not pick you to go to final 2. So I felt like it was my only.
Backdooring John.
Was being a part of it, yeah, and having
Basically
the idea.
running-
Also, if
basically
it
running
was
the show, just basically running it, like
Well-
making it happen. Because Deanna had veto,
Yeah.
but were you gonna use it? No, didn't influence
No, I was definitely gonna use that.
you. Okay.
Do you guys?
Um, wait,
No,
go,
go.
go.
Do you guys feel like you played a risky game, or you guys both kind of played it safe, or in between, made bold choices, or?
I would say I played a risky game. There was no 2 weeks in a row that were constant. Like I was constantly with a different person. In somebody's ear, somebody was in my ear. People were giving me information. People were giving other people certain information. I had never had like, oh, it's these final 4 people right here. Like, yeah, I could say that it was Mel. Yeah, I could say that it was Mel and John. But clearly, she would have thrown me out in a heartbeat, and John would have done the same thing. If I was up there against Jamie and John was in my position, I would be sitting where John is right now, and John would be sitting right now. So for me, I would say it was very hectic and very crazy. It was extremely nerve-wracking. It was never like, oh, I'm totally safe this week. The only week I think I felt 100% safe was when Tajan won HOH. This was like, I'm pretty confident that Tajan was
I wouldn't say I played a risky game, but I think I played a very socially, always making sure that the vote would work out for me, or that it would help me in some way. So I feel like I had my hand in almost all the votes to be like, okay, if this person leaves, this is going to benefit me in this way, because then it's one more person gone who could, be a hard person to do the endurance challenge with. So I think obviously it could come off as safe because I wasn't put up on the block until final 4. Yeah, final 4. But I think that I just played really socially, so I never had to get up there, and my name was really never put around until closer to the end, which was my main goal, was to make sure like my name and like John's name until the end, obviously, or Deanna's name weren't put up there to be out. So I guess I wouldn't say risky, but I also don't think it was safe. I think it was very like, this is the HOH, like let's see how we can use this to benefit me, to further me into the game. So I think I should win Big Brother 9 because I played a very, very socially strong game, and I also won 2 HOHs. I won veto when I really needed to win veto. I, was good to, I was loyal to my people until I think respectfully one of us had to go, John. I'm just saying, one of us had to go. And I think that targeting like the boys at first was good for me, for my game, because they didn't want to work with me. But I'm just saying that socially, I did a lot. I was always talking to everyone. I was making sure that the votes fell in the way that I wanted them to fall. I, was always looking ahead on how I could, benefit with the vote. And I really do think, like again, I said that I did really well. I wasn't on the block until Final Four, and I don't know who can really socially do that. And I think that says a lot about my mental game and being able to talk and make things work for my advantage to get me here.
Okay, so I think I deserve to win because I clearly knew when to push people aside, when to target people, when to not target people. Unlike Melanie, socially keeping herself safe, I socially had to constantly talk myself out of precarious situations. It was a 4-4 split with Jamie. I'll be the first one to say I should have gotten home in week 2. I didn't, because people were in John's ear. I was in John's ear, just like, hey, save me. You can't really, work with other people. I can work with you. If you save me, I owe you my life. I convinced Tay to use the veto on me once. Melanie and I convinced Deanna to use the veto on me. So I was targeted, and I constantly got out of it. I won 3 HOHs. I won a couple vetoes. I knew when I needed to put up or shut up. And I just knew how to, bob and weave throughout the game to say, all right, this person, I trust them. Now I don't because they did this or they said that or they're talking to this person or they're doing this. So I think I played the riskier game. I think I played the better game. I think I played the stronger game, and that's why I'm here. I wasn't because I relied on other people. I did a lot of the work myself. Whether I was connecting with one person for a week or 2, or nominating people, or strategically picking when I wanted certain allies to go out over others. I think I was more direct and I was less, behind the scenes kind of puppetry. And I was just more, this is it, period. That's that.
Mel, Patrick, you guys both played a really great game. Socially, it was awesome. Strength-wise, you guys both won HOHs, veto challenges, so you're both pretty dominant in the game. And the social manipulation was pretty miraculous, actually. I'm gonna have to go, it's tough, but Patrick, you played very well, but I'm voting for Mel because 1, female power, and yeah, that's important, and 2, I did think she played a really, really good social game, knew what she had to do, knew how to play people, and knew how to keep her alliances, which I respect, so you got my vote, Mel.
So I think I did a pretty good job. I made it to 3rd place, but now I'm realizing there was no way. I'm not really an experienced player and to play socially, so I think I could have done better at that, and the challenge at the end was kind of getting to know people and what their thoughts were, and I think that was probably one of my weaknesses. Wish I would have won, but really I could say I tried my best because it's really hard to get into people's heads and figure out what they were thinking. But I know even if Melanie and Patrick had an alliance, it probably doesn't even matter because if Patrick had took me to the end, he knew that it would have been a decisive vote against him. So putting up Melanie with him is maybe he could win, but I'm voting for Mel. Because we had an alliance, and I guess she was really my strongest alliance of the game, so, and Patrick fucked me over.
I'm voting for Melanie to win the game for 2 reasons. 1, because she played a great social game and cut off me and Brian very quickly and didn't allow us to grow and get power and people and followers. which is her best move probably. And I'm not voting for Patrick because he turned on me and put me up for eviction. And yeah, so.
What's up? It's been a long couple days. One day. But here we go. My vote. I cannot vote for Patrick. We didn't really have a relationship in the game. He just got rid of me when he could. But I came back and then I got fucked over. Alright. Oh, congrats.
Alright, so I voted for Mel to win. I tried through the game was trying for my own super group instead of to join and tag along in the super group. I thought I had that, but you know, people backstabbed me, and I will remember that for next year. See you later, folks.
I voted for Mel to win Big Brother 9 because she let me borrow her sweatshirt and she played a flawless game throughout. She was the Geppetto to Patrick's Pinocchio. And yeah, I will be back for Big Brother 10.
I'm gonna vote for Mel because even though Patrick and I had an alliance, I didn't feel like it was strong. And me and her were partners in the beginning, like the first game, so I trust that. And she was very like in control, I felt, so I think that deserves the win. I'm Miles. I felt like I did a good job.
Alright, I genuinely do not know who I'm about to vote for. I have feelings about both ways and who should win and my reasons. Oh, fuck. I think I'm going to have to go by voting for who I think played the best game. And I think that's going to have to go to Mel. Sorry, Patrick, but I feel like you wouldn't have took me to the end anyway, you know, but yeah. Alright, I'll vote for Melanie.
Alright, it's Patrick versus Mel, and I'm voting for the player who I think played the best game. I think both of them entered with pretty similar targets, pretty similar resumes, pretty similar biases against them, and I think one person played a commanding game, in control of everything, and the other played a more unsure game, bouncing for safety and getting it impressively, but also kind of just luckily landing here. I vote for Melanie to win Big Brother 9.
Yeah, if Patrick wins it, that's
Andrew votes for Melanie. Second vote, by unanimous vote, everyone voted for Melanie.
Patrick. Way to pick the winner, Patrick. Come join us on the couch, buddy. Congrats.
Patrick, I thought it was taking all of the votes from her box and bringing me yours.
He was like swearing to have one. Oh yeah, no, he said. Yeah, no, when you said don't get real for her, I was like, yeah.
Oh, I was like,
You were the one that convinced me.
I really thought about reaching in. It would have been my game.
Yeah, just move one person's over. It's like 10 to 1. You call it off.
Yeah.
Do I have to do it?